There was a disciple of Shyamananda Prabhu. His name is Rasika, also known as Rasikananda Prabhu. This Rasikananda Thakur, he was such a preacher. Shyamananda Prabhu instructed him that you just go out and give the message of the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra to everyone. To everyone. This is what Nityananda Prabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given to the world, and this is what our duty is to the world. So one time the Guru and the disciple, Shyamananda Thakur and Rasikananda Thakur, were sitting together, and some of their disciples came. They said, we are from a kingdom, and the king is a malecha. He is a terrible demon. He hates Hindus. He hates everyone, actually. He's so violent. He has a regulation where every day he personally, with his own hands, kills at least one or two people. Otherwise, he's just not satisfied. He can't sleep at night. It's like some people, unless they gamble every day, they can't sleep at night. Some people, if they don't smoke cigarettes every day, they're agitated. He was such a person. He was so violent, he had to find the great sense gratification of murdering a couple people a day with his own hands. And all the kings of all the neighborhood territories, he had conquered them, and he would torture them, and he would make them like his slaves. And this is how he dealt with everyone. So they said, he's making life so miserable. We think that you are such great devotees of Krishna, only you can save us. So Rasikananda Thakur said to Shyamananda Thakur, I will go to the kingdom. So Shyamananda Thakur said, yes, you go. I will go, but I have to go somewhere else. So Rasikananda went, and he came to a neighboring village within the kingdom, but just outside the area of the king's palace. And there was a devotee named Vaidyanath. So he stayed at his house, and soon the news came to everyone that Rasikananda Thakur has come. So thousands of people came to hear him speak Harikatha. And what was his katha? It was very simple. That everyone purify your heart by taking this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, dance, hear the topics of Krishna, and loudly chant his holy name.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
So everyone was so happy. People were just fearlessly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra and dancing and discussing beautiful topics of Krishna everywhere. So when the king heard about this, he became violently angry. Who is this? Who is this nonsense person? And the other neighboring kings, they said, he's a very great Paramhamsa saint. He's always chanting about Krishna. He has such deep love of God. He can convert anyone into becoming pure souls. Hare Krishna. So he looked at the kings, he said, don't be fooled by this rascal. He said he is a hypocrite and he is a cheater. I know what kind of person he is. He said, he's like a magician and he has some powers to brainwash people and to control their minds. And then after he controls their minds, he steals their property and steals their money. And he has these special mantras just to do this. He said he's a faker. He said, but I will not take him seriously. He will be punished. But Rasikananda Thakur was becoming so popular. The king said, order him to come and meet with me. And this was very, very dangerous. So the people went to Rasikananda Thakur and said, the king wants to meet you, but you should not go. He's a very bad man. He may torture you, he may kill you, he may do anything to you. Better you leave this place. Why do you want to stay in a place where this violent, murderous king is living? But this great Vaishnava said, no, if he is inviting me, I will come to see him. Anyways, in the kingdom, a very, very dangerous animal in the form of an elephant who was so big and so strong, he was terrorizing the whole palace of the king. This elephant would come and he would uproot trees. He would destroy houses by just running into it like a train. He was so mad. He would kill the horses. He would kill the cows. He would kill any person that came in his path. So the king, he said, if Rasikananda Thakur is actually a saintly person, then let him convert this elephant and see what happens. So this news came to Rasikananda. So he said, yes, I will do. So Rasikananda came into the king just outside of his palace. And when he got there, the elephant was there. And this mad elephant, he would just roar. His roar would bring terror to everyone's hearts. And he was killing any person anywhere near him. Anything he saw, he would just roar and charge at them and destroy it. He was destroying houses, he was destroying people, he was destroying animals, he was destroying trees, he was destroying everything. And Rasikananda started walking right toward him. Meanwhile, everyone else was running away. People were climbing up houses to the roofs just to be out of the way. And even all Rasikananda's followers, when they heard and saw this mad elephant, they all ran away. But he walked right toward the elephant. And the elephant saw him. And with his big eyes red like fire, mad, crazy with violence, the elephant charged at Rasikananda Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So Rasikananda just looked at him right in the eyes. And the elephant stopped right in front of him. And they both just looked at each other in the eyes. And the king, from his throne, was looking down and seeing this whole scene. And Rasikananda said to the elephant that you should chant the holy names of Krishna. Why are you doing all these bad things, causing so much harm to innocent people? You are an eternal spirit soul. You are part of Krishna. Krishna is your mother. Krishna is your father. Krishna is your only real friend. Krishna is your life and soul. You should always remember Krishna. And you should constantly chant the name of Krishna. And you should always be the servant of Krishna's devotees. In this way you will find real happiness in life. Krishna will forgive you for all the offenses you have made. Just chant his holy name and serve his devotees. And when the elephant heard this, in his heart of hearts, he began to think, everything that this person is saying is according to the shastra. It is true. And then the elephant bowed down, placed its head at Rasikananda's feet. And then Rasikananda put his one hand on the elephant's head. And with the other hand, he lifted the elephant's ear, his right ear. And then he put his mouth right near the elephant's ear, and he said, "You chant these 16 names of God. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. And when the elephant heard the Mahamantra, he jumped up. And then he came down and started offering his obeisances again and again and again to Rasikananda. He had just received diksha. Harinam diksha. And then Rasikananda said, "Your new name will be Sri Gopal Das." And upon receiving his spiritual name and the Mahamantra, this elephant began to weep tears, ecstatic tears from his eyes. And he fell down and began to bathe the lotus feet of Rasikananda Thakur with his profusely flowing tears. And then he bowed down, offering his prostrated obeisances hundreds of times. Then he circumambulated Rasikananda and came back and started bowing down again and again and again. He couldn't give up the association of this devotee. Rasikananda Thakur told him that you always serve the Vaishnavas and always chant the holy names. And also, you should go to all the holy places and worship Krishna and serve his devotees. So that elephant didn't want to give up the association, but then finally, with tears of love in his eyes, he went back into the forest. But now, instead of being a dangerous monster that everyone feared, he was Trinarapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnana Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. He was more humble than a blade of grass, more tolerant than a tree. He was ready to offer all respects to others and expect none in return. He was a Paramhamsa. He was a great devotee. And when the king saw this, he came running down from his throne and he fell at the feet. This terrible, murderous, violent, Malecha king, he fell at the feet of Rasikananda Thakur. And he said, "I have been offending you, I have been insulting you, I have been making all terrible accusations against you. I wanted to kill you. Please forgive me. I surrender to you." Rasikananda Thakur, he said, "Actually, I came to this kingdom only to give you Harinam. That's my only business for coming, is to get you to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. But on my way I saw this elephant. And this elephant was attacking me. But should I tell you, why should I fear anything when I'm serving Krishna? Why should there be any fear of you or the elephant if I know that I'm only doing the service of Krishna? If a person is serving Krishna, whether he lives or dies, what does it matter? If you're in the service of Krishna and you die, you go back home, back to Godhead. Is that such a bad thing? And if Krishna wants to protect you, then who can harm you? He said, when I meditate on Krishna and chant his holy name, I am fearless because I have Krishna. Please understand that the entire cosmic manifestation is created by Krishna. And Lord Brahma, he has come from the navel of Lord Vishnu. And he has performed so many of the work of the secondary creator. And all of the devotees, they are also assisting Lord Brahma in his work. And the Brahma in this universe has 4 heads. But there are other Brahmas in other universes who have 100 heads, 1,000 heads, 10,000 heads, 100,000 heads, millions of heads. But they are all being protected and empowered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan. He is in everyone's heart. And I know as a fact that He is in this elephant's heart too. So if I have faith in Krishna, why should I be afraid of this elephant when I know Narayan is in his heart? So therefore, I asked him to chant Hare Krishna so that he can perceive the Lord within his own heart. And then the king began to chant the holy names of Krishna. And that elephant, Sri Gopal Das Prabhu, he became such a great servant of the devotees. When he would see a devotee in the forest, he would go and collect rice and grains and vegetables and give them to that devotee. Sometimes when the devotees would see him coming, they would be afraid. Huge elephant, but he would bow down, and whoever he saw with tilak or chanting the holy names, he would just become their most menial, humble servant. He would just go out begging to bring them food. And if they would get lost in the forest, he would gladly put them on his back and take them to wherever they were going. And he traveled throughout India going to various holy places. And any Vaishnav he met, he would just be so anxious to serve them. And whenever he heard the name of his guru, Rasikananda Thakur, he would just become overwhelmed with ecstasy, because it was this great soul that transformed him from a murderous demon into a pure-hearted servant of the devotees. And he constantly was immersed in remembering Krishna. Sometimes he would chant in his mind, and sometimes with a thunderous voice, mad for Krishna. He would fill the forest with the beautiful Sankirtan of the holy name. The message of Krishna consciousness is so deep and profound in its philosophical content. But the application is very simple. Just chant the holy names. Just be the servant of the Lord and his devotees. Just be a kind and compassionate friend to all living beings. And somehow or other induce them to follow the path of bhakti. And wherever devotees are gathered together in this spirit, that is the spiritual world. That is Vaikuntha.
You were listening to Radhanath Swami on devotionalnectar.com.